Well, Bryan Trumbo is now coming out. Your most famous two characters lately have been true life characters, Dalton Trumbo and Lyndon Johnson. How is it different for you as an actor preparing for a true life character?
It is different. You have an added responsibility with non-fictional characters. There, in both those cases, there are family members and friends and colleagues who are still alive and well and remembering those two men greatly. So there is that sense of need to work as hard as you can to try to get that essence of who these men were, not to do an impersonation, but really capture their sensibilities and present it as honestly as possible so that those people who are members of the family or knew him well can say, yeah, that I see my dad in him. I see my old friend in him. He's doing it. And then you refer back to the script, John McNamara's beautiful script. Jay Roach directed a great film, and you have that triumvirate of collaboration, and away you go.
And for Trumbo, how did the family or associates of his, how did they help you?
Trumbo's daughters, Nicola and Mitzi, are great and were extremely helpful to me. I contacted them early on, as did John McNamara, about the script, and they gave notes on several drafts of the script. So they were important collaborators to this process, not just for the story overall, but also to me developing a sense of their father. They're going to see a representation of their father on screen, and I knew that, I felt that, and I wanted to do the best possible job I could so that they would be proud of what they saw. So I enlisted them early on to help me. I needed their help, and they came through.
You had interviews you could watch and certainly things you could listen to. After you read the script and you're in your preparation, what was that moment where you went, oh, I got this. I know where I can go with this?
There is, sometimes it's a very cognitive moment where you go, aha, and other times it's like, oh, yeah, that character came in. So at some point when I wasn't looking, it came in. And when you start working on a character, it always feels outside of my body when I first start. I'm attracted to it. I'm attracted to the characteristics of that person, and I'm attracted to the story that that person is involved with. But it's outside. It was an objective viewpoint. And now, with the more research you do and imagination you put in, and source material and things like that, it starts to seep into your soul. And there's always that wonder at the beginning of developing a character. Is this one going to stay outside of me, or will it at some point come in? And trusting has a lot to do with it. Trust that the work will pay off and it'll come in.
This wasn't all that long ago in comparison to maybe things from other centuries. I mean, this was just a few decades ago. This blacklist period, is it scarier to you than like a horror movie, a real horror movie is?
Yes, because when you're watching a horror movie, you know in the back of your mind that it's not real. But this was real. This was a dark period, not only in Hollywood history, but American history, where a government body oppressed the First Amendment and took away civil liberties that were hard fought based on fear, and sent 10 men to prison, not because they broke the law, but because the answers that they gave under the pressure of imprisonment didn't please the committee, so they were all found in contempt of Congress. This happened here. They went to prison for no crime committed, and they thought they thought possibly that there might be some insurgents, there might be some overthrow of the government plans, but they weren't able to prove anything at all, ever, throughout the entire process of the House Un-American Activities Committee, or of the McCarthy era. And it was a dark period. And if a society is not careful, you can repeat those ugly mistakes. So I think it's very important that especially the younger generations are entertained by Trumbo, but yet take away a sense of wonder and like, God, this really happened. I want to know more about this. How did that happen? How did we allow this as an enlightened society to jeopardize civil liberties?
Gold Derby is an awards website, so imagine my fun and happiness in the movie where you have several awards type scenes. He wins 2 Oscars but can't claim them. Even though he couldn't be public about that and so forth, do you think those Oscar wins gave him confidence that, hey, I'm still a great writer, I still know what I'm doing here, I can continue to figure out this thing?
It was paradoxical for him to win 2 Oscars because it was under different names. So to Dalton Trumbo, winning 2 Oscars, which is a pinnacle of acceptance of great work, there was an asterisk next to both of them because he couldn't do it freely. He couldn't put them on a mantle. He couldn't say, I did this. He had to hide. He had to live in the shadows. And no one should have to do that. So until that was expunged and people came to their senses and realized, oh my God, what have we done as a society, as an industry, the show business industry? What have we colluded on, as the studios did, to prevent these people from working, to make a living, denied them dignity, sent them to prison, jeopardized their families? For what? For what? They accomplished nothing. It's a terrible period. But hopefully we've learned by it, and we never forget that.
Well, it's a great film. Good luck with it.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.